Where do you find the tax sale information you need? Welcome to the Tax Sale Weekly Question segment, and that is exactly this week's tax sale question. It's from Greg on YouTube, and it says, where do I find all of the tax sale information I need? Which websites should I go to? Greg, first off, thank you for your question, and thank you for subscribing. So it was not overly clear exactly which websites you are looking for. So I'll go through a quick rundown of a few websites that you will definitely need as a tax sale investor. Now, first off, the caveat here is that without knowing what you are doing, most of these sites will be pretty useless. It's kind of like having all the parts to an engine, but not knowing how to assemble it. You likely will not get far without making a lot of mistakes, so make sure you take the time to learn first. All right, let's talk about the big one, that is tax sale lists. There are people out there that call them secret. They said that they're hard to find. And there are even companies that thrive on charging you for these tax sale lists. Tax sale lists, the overwhelming majority of the time, are free. And they're very easy to find. First off, understand that every state is a little bit different, and the department that handles the tax sales in each one of these states is a little bit different as well. But the first step is to find the county department that's responsible for tax sales in the state that you are wanting to invest in. You can do this with a quick Google search. Google something like Jones County tax sale. Then click on the link, and it'll take you to the governmental site that handles tax sales in Jones County. From there, navigate to the correct tax sale list and download it. Now, in some cases, you might actually have to pick up the phone and call the county to get the list, or even just to confirm that they don't have a list available at the moment, or they might not even have a tax sale section on their website at the moment if there is nothing scheduled for that county in the near future. And I've got a video here on YouTube where I actually show you how to access 5 tax sale lists in less than 5 minutes. Just search 5 list in the search bar of my channel, and also I'll try to link it down below as well. Next up is going to be the tax assessor's website. So every property has taxes. That's obviously why they reached the point of tax foreclosure. But working backwards, in order to establish those taxes, we must have a tax assessed value. So the county, they'll actually go out there, visit a property, assess what is on the property, like buildings and that kind of thing. Then they'll come up with a value of that property for taxation purposes. Now, that taxable value usually does not do us much good when it comes to the fair market value, since we need to establish that value ourselves based on a whole bunch of other research topics and knowing the market and that kind of stuff. But when they go out there and they make that assessment, what they do is they create something called a tax assessor's report. And basically, this report will have everything on it that helped them make that tax assessed value. So it'll tell us about the property, including the size, improvements, and other relevant information. And of course, all this information is very, very helpful when we are doing our research. To find this, simply search the name of the county you are investing in, followed by the words tax assessor or tax assessor's records search. Another helpful site is something called GIS, Geographical Information Systems. This is essentially a mapping program that overlays parcels onto a map that allow you to see the parcel oftentimes with an aerial view of the property as if you're flying over in an airplane. It'll show you the exact location, what surrounds it, what roads it fronts, if any, and that type of stuff. Oftentimes, you will get overlays that can even show you more detail about recent sales in the area, flood zones, school districts, zonings, and all sorts of other stuff. Sometimes these will be linked directly through the tax assessor's report. Just click on the GIS or the Map It button in the tax assessor's report. If not, you can search the name of your county followed by GIS. Now, make sure you understand not every county has a GIS system because they are pricey. And if it's a very, very small rural county with a tiny budget, they probably don't have one. The next site is going to be the building department site. Also, the code enforcement site is usually going to be linked either with the building department site, or the offices are going to be side by side more or less. And they can be very helpful when it comes to the condition of that property. And you can Google these things, but you might also need to contact the county building department directly over the phone. Say, listen, I'm trying to get some permit history of this specific property. I'm also trying to get the code enforcement history of this specific property. And most of the time, because you're putting forth the effort to be a responsible real estate investor in that area, they'd be more than happy to pull up the file for you and show you all the details, or to tell you exactly how you can find that information online. A lot of times they're accessible online, but they're a little bit more difficult to find the actual records database that you need to access than simply going to the tax assessor's website. They're a little more hidden. And then, of course, something else to Google are the tax sale laws that affect you. These are the rules that we have to follow. Again, you can Google it. Something like Florida tax sale laws will pop up the relevant state statute, and I highly, highly recommend you taking the time to read through them, because most of the questions that a lot of people have are going to be answered inside of those laws. So those are usually going to be the most commonly used resources when it comes to your basic research around tax sale properties. And these are all governmental resources. Now, outside of the governmental resources I just mentioned, websites like Realtor.com and Zillow will help us locate recently sold properties and properties currently on the market, so we know how to properly value the properties that we are going to invest in. Of course, you combine their information with the county governmental resources to make sure that their information matches and everything is accurate. So hopefully this helps you out. There's a whole bunch of other sites, a whole bunch of other resources that we use, but the ones that I just discussed will definitely get you started. For more information on the tax sale business, make sure you grab this book right here, Tax Sale Playbook. I bought the book for you. Just cover the nominal shipping costs to get it from my warehouse to your front door, which is less than $5 in the United States. And it's available at TaxSaleAcademy.com. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.